Welcome to Real Talk Baseball. I am Will Power, your fantasy baseball analyst, along with Chavi the commish. Sorry we're a little bit late today. We were actually waiting for someone else to come on the show with us, but they're having some technical difficulties. So we are here to answer all your fantasy baseball questions and give you advice to help you win your league. What's up, Javi? How's it going today?
It's going, brother. How you been?
You know, dad life and baseball life and coaching life and work life, life
Shit, yeah,
has to happen, right? But yeah,
yes, sir.
it's
I hear that, man.
it's a work in progress, right? I'm working towards that goal
Yeah.
of retirement in about 23 years or something like that. I'm actually about to turn
Oh,
40 in 2 weeks, Doug.
that's
I know
awesome,
you're a
bro.
little bit ahead of me, but dude, it's hitting
Yeah,
me. It's like reality, like time. Like, damn, I'm actually about to be 40. Let's see, we got one
dude.
comment. Springer Digital. Oh, so this
Who's that?
is
Jasper?
Jasper. What's up,
Jasper.
Jasper? Springer
What up,
Digital.
Jas?
So did you change your YouTube name or is this a new channel? Because if it's a new channel, then maybe we can give you a few subs on there if that's what
Oh
you're looking
yeah.
for.
There you go.
All right. So while we're waiting for our guest host to come on, I'm going to go ahead and play the intro for you guys because I don't know about you guys, but this shit gets me amped. And here we go. Yo, I love that shit, dude. I don't know if I told you about this, but I
You-
took
you-
my kid to go see Slipknot last year.
Yo.
Dude, it was freaking awesome, man. It was his first time ever going to like a real concert like that. He actually went to go see Blink 182 with his mom
Mhm,
like a few years ago. But
mhm.
right when Blink actually got on the stage, they were using the F word a lot, and it was not very kid appropriate. So his mom decided to actually leave the show. So he wasn't able to. I know.
What?
I would have been like, we're already here, just let him enjoy the show. Who cares?
Bro,
At the time, I think he was like 12. It was like probably like 4 years ago.
what
So
is that?
a
That's
12-year-old at Blink 182, it's not like he doesn't hear his mom and dad say it all the time anyway.
bro, is that junior that's junior high, right?
At that time, I want to say he was in like sixth or seventh grade.
Okay, I mean, I'm sure they hear worse shit at school, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They're
Bro,
like,
I
"Come
hear
on,
him
man."
playing his online games all the
Yep.
time, whether it's Fortnite or Call of Duty or whatever. F this, F that, F
Yep.
that S. So it's like
You can't hide
a
that
couple
shit, man.
years later, he was going to bound up, talking like that
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
That's part of growing up. I
Yeah.
actually was a good egg. I didn't start really cussing until after my divorce. So really when I was like 25. But I
What?
know, man, it was crazy. Like even when I said it, like I would say like the F word and it would just feel like weird for a while. Now it's just like
Yeah.
part of like normal conversation. I don't know if you knew this about me, but I used to be a pastor. I went to ministry school for
No.
yeah, man. I went to ministry school,
What?
and not to give too many details. My ex-wife and I had split up, and we went our separate ways and got divorced. And at the church that I was currently pastoring at, they looked down on divorce as most religions do, and they said, well, basically you can't be a pastor anymore if you have a divorce.
Wow.
So it basically took away like all my credentials and everything that I had going for me. So at that moment, I was just kind of like, well, F this, F you, F the world, F
Mhm.
everyone. And
Yeah.
I still have all my same beliefs. I believe in God. I believe, not to
Yeah.
get too like political and religious with anything, but,
Yeah.
I'm still basically the same person inside, but
Yeah,
I see the world for what it is now.
different. Yep.
I feel like I
Yep.
was very sheltered before.
I kind of I'm on that same level as you, as opposed to like religious beliefs and stuff like that. So yeah, that's crazy, man. That's a good bit of news there.
So,
Shit.
so fun fact. So one, I was a pastor, and two, I think you knew about this one, but I used to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah, you told me about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was
That is
one of the
pretty
best
cool.
times of my life, dude.
That
And
is pretty cool, man.
I wouldn't have changed anything for the world. I wish I would
Hell
have,
no.
pursued it a little bit longer, but I ended up breaking my tailbone when I was 20 years old. And, it's about a year of downtime. And in
Yeah.
between that time, my ex wife got pregnant and I needed a real job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the $20 a month that I was making from pro wrestling wasn't enough. So I got my ass at Blockbuster and became a manager, and
Hung
that was
hung
a
up
really
the
fun job
hung
too.
up the wrestling boots, huh?
Yeah, I had to, man. I had
That's
to.
crazy, man. Yeah,
And
I told, my wife about that, and she was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, I could kinda see it." I'm like,
shit.
"Yeah, no, for real."
Yeah, it
That's
was fun,
crazy,
dude.
man.
I was actually one of the guys that, like, even though I'm a little bit bigger, at the time I was probably about 240 pounds.
Mhm.
I used to be the guy that was flying off the top rope and doing like all the crazy
Yo,
stuff. So
that's
that's actually
that's
how I
insane.
broke my tailbone. So our wrestling ring broke. And because there was a guy that was part of our crew that was like 6'10", 300 something pounds, and then he was running the ropes. And as he went to run against the ropes, it just collapsed. So we actually had to borrow a boxing ring from
That's
just
crazy.
another company that they were able to get it from. And dude, if you've ever been in a wrestling ring, you can feel the springs under you. It's kind of
Mhm.
bouncy. It's not like a
Yeah,
trampoline,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it has some give to it.
yeah.
And it's kind of like an old school mattress, like with the springs. That's kind of what
Right.
it feels like. Um, and when we got the boxing ring, dude, it's like you're like standing on plywood. It like
Oh, wow.
there's no give at all. And I went to go do a leg drop off the top rope, landed on my butt, and I didn't lean forward enough to kind of fold a little bit so my back could fold. I
Yeah.
just landed straight on my tailbone and it
Ooh.
clipped the tip off. Yeah, that sucked.
Oh,
But
shit.
I feel like it was a blessing in disguise, dude, because
Right.
I love the life that I have now, and I feel like everything happens for a reason,
Yep,
and I'm here. I'm
yep.
enjoying life, and it was a good memory that I have.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a
Except
lot
for the
of people
broken
that can say
tailbone,
that,
like
man.
that kind of sucked, but it hurt really bad. I was actually 2 weeks after I broke my tailbone, I was on a flight to Venezuela, a 14-hour flight to go visit my
Oh,
ex-wife's family. Yeah, it sucked.
damn. Yeah.
That was not fun, man.
Nah, hell no. Oh,
Let's
shit.
see. Let's see what Springer Digital says. What's up, fellas? So this is his business YouTube. Dope. We will definitely give you a sub. Nice intro. Appreciate that. Metal's definitely my style. I know
Mhm.
Carlos is really into metal too. He actually used to be in a band. I don't know. I'm sure you knew that because Carlos
Yeah,
from like way back in the day.
yeah.
Um, and he says more my style. Yeah, mine too, man. Love that
Mhm.
metal stuff. All right, so it looks like he's going to be a little bit later than we thought. So, do you want to go ahead and just start off?
Yeah, let's get to it.
All right, so two-star pitchers is basically like our biggest thing that we like to talk about for the following week. Um, that's the biggest thing that's going to give you a big jump on whoever you're facing. So, Javi, how about you go ahead and start off with your two picks for two-star pitchers for next week?
Alright, so, it was actually a pretty big list that, you sent me with all the two-star pitchers. Um, it was a little hard to choose, because a lot of the guys that are on there are going up against, like, really good teams right now. Um, the two that I picked, the first one is Brad Singer from the Royals. Um, Not the sexiest pick, obviously, because he plays on one of the weaker teams in MLB. But he's got matchups against the Tigers and the Nationals, and they're both home games. He's 3-4, an inflated C 7.09 ERA, which is holy crap. Like you look at it and you're like, I don't even know if I want to take a chance. But the last two games he had, he's gone 6 innings, both games. Three total earned runs, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. What stands out to me is that one of those games was against San Diego in San Diego. So I think I talked about one of these pitchers, these two start pitchers, a couple weeks ago that went up against the Padres and put up a gem.
That's what
Um,
she said.
oh, Carlo.
Hey, I
Um,
had to make my entrance somehow, dude. Man, freaking internet
yeah,
was all jacked
He
up,
comes
dude. My
through
bad.
with the what do you call it, with the sound bites. That's dope, dude. I need to figure out how to do that.
yeah, for
That's
real.
what she said.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
yeah, that's what she said, dude.
That's
Hey,
what
my
she
bad,
said.
dude. I hate doing an intro like this, coming in all late to the show. My internet sucks, man. My
Oh,
Yeah,
internet
that's
you're
all
good.
right,
really,
man.
really sucks.
And
Yeah,
you're a real podcaster now because your phone's going off during the show too.
Yeah.
yeah, dude. I'm like, what the hell? This is whack, man. I hate
Yeah.
not being prepared, but yeah, I'm back.
Hey, but your video looks good now. Your video quality looks
Yeah.
good now.
Dude, I needed to connect the other little piece to it, and didn't want to work. So I'm back. All right, I didn't mean
Right.
to cut you off, Javi.
You good.
Keep going, dude.
Um, so yeah, like I was saying, he pitched a good game against the Padres, which is even though San Diego's not too great right now, their lineup is stacked as we know. And then he pitched another good game against the White Sox, which the White Sox, sorry, Jasper, but they're not doing too great. So that's not very surprising. And then he's pitching against like two of the weaker teams in MLB right now, like I said. So this should be a pretty, I don't want to say an easy to start. Um, like the Royals got to give the guy some offense too. And then my other pick is Michael Lorenzen from the Tigers. I like this dude. He's SPRP eligible. He's 2-2 with a 3.44 ERA. Last three starts, 6 innings pitched, 7 innings pitched, and 7 innings pitched. That's pretty good, man, for a ex relief pitcher. Because I'm assuming they're gonna be starting him more often now. Um, in those 3 games, man, he's only allowed 2 total earned runs, and one was against Pittsburgh, which is a good team right now. The other is Cleveland, which is one of the weaker teams, and then the Mets. Oh, we know like the Mets went out and spent big money in the offseason. So they got a bunch of big bats on there, and he pitched 3 gems against these 3 teams. Um, so I think he's playing at the Royals and White Sox at home. So those are two pretty good matchups. In my opinion, this should be a no-brainer um, for me. But yeah, those are my 2 picks, dude. I think they're pretty solid. Like
Yeah,
especially if their offense can kind of wake up and give some run support. They're, I mean, they should be able to get two good starts from both of these pitchers, man.
yeah, that's actually what I was actually about to say is that Detroit's actually been picking it up a little bit. Javi Baez had kind of a bit of a late start. He was at batting under the Mendoza line for like the first month of the season, but a lot of those Detroit bats are starting to heat up a bit, and
Hmm.
they've had some big hits, some big moment hits. So
Yeah,
I like the matchups. I like Mike Lorenzen a little bit more than I like Brady
yeah,
Singer.
yeah,
Brady Singer, like I believe he actually had a no hitter last season or the season before. So we've seen him pitch well, in the past before. And maybe this season he's had a little bit of bad luck. His ERA is really inflated. It's up above 7 right now.
Yeah.
But it's been cold in the beginning of the season. And a lot of times these pitchers, they just don't pitch well in cold weather. We've seen that with multiple pitchers, especially on the East Coast. It's hard to grip the ball. It's hard to loosen up. Anyone that's played baseball or any kind of sports before, like your body's just looser in warmer weather. So warmer weather is on the horizon, and maybe that's exactly what pitchers like Brady Singer need to kind of get back into mid-season form. That's a big thing, is mid-season form, right?
Dude, I don't mean to cut you off right here, but it's been cold for a long ass time.
Yeah.
I think this is the coldest
really cold spring.
It's been the coldest, it's been cold since, I guess I want to start from November out here all the way to May. That's a long stretch, especially for California. Yeah, and then you go to the East Coast and you start hearing about these super high, like low temperatures, and you're like, okay, you hit those low temperatures, but by now you should be kind of seeing like more hot days, and you haven't seen that yet. It's not like, oh, tomorrow's gonna be hot, we're gonna get a good day. Like, no, you're still kind of worried about. Wait, it looks cloudy. You're in the 60s. Like, what, in California, really?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right.
All the rain that you guys got, and even hail in some areas. I remember as a kid seeing hail in California, in LA. And I want to say I was probably like 7 or 8 years old, and it hasn't happened since then. So it's been about 30 years since that area has had like really cold weather like that. Even over here, dude, like last year at this time, there was a lot of like humidity was really high already, and it was like in the 80s, early 90s. What's up, Felix? Glad you're here, man. But this year, like today, it was like a nice 70 to 72 degrees, no humidity at all. This morning on my way to work at 3:00 in the morning, it was 30 something degrees.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy right now, man. I don't like the really warm weather that we get over here during the summer, but I'm definitely ready for a change. We've had this cold for a little bit too long. Javi, I'm still on pain.
had to do it.
The beating, right?
I had to do it to him, man.
Do it to him. And now karma's coming back to you because Walter's working on that ass.
Bro, this fucking sucks, dude. I'm out to hear this shit.
Dang, I wish Walter was actually watching the show right now, so that way he could put in the comments and start talking shit. I love when Walter talks shit, man. It's so funny.
All right, let's continue with the show, guys. I know I just came in, but I think we're going into streamers. Are you guys done with the 2-start pitchers?
So we did Javi's 2-star pitchers, but I still
you haven't done yours.
I have not done mine. No.
Okay, so catch me up. I need to catch up on it. So I think I'm ready to go. It is a live show, guys. This is what happens. When it's not live, you get to edit and all this bull crap, but we're live. If you have any questions, go ahead and do it. And if you haven't liked the video, go ahead and like it. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. But go ahead, Will. Give us our two start pitchers for next week.
All right. So, like Javi said earlier, there was a pretty big list of 2-star pitchers, and we only really like to mention the ones that are owned in less than 70% of leagues, because most of the time, even in like a 10-team league, the pitchers that are owned more than 70% are usually taken by that time. So those are like the must-start options.
Must start.
Yeah, freaking Walter, the Dark Knight. So the first one that I want to talk about is someone that's just been a standout all season long, and the Rangers actually had him in the bullpen to begin the season, but now that Jacob deGrom is on the IL with forearm issues, Dane Dunning has actually taken that spot in the rotation, and he has been looking really, really good, man. And not only that, but he has 2 really good matchups coming up. I know the Pirates were like really hot in the beginning of the season. The first month of the season, they just had an incredible lineup. Pitching was doing well. But, they've kind of normalized since then. So Dane Dunning has at Pittsburgh and at Baltimore for his 2 starts coming up. It's Tuesday and Sunday next week. Carlos, back in the day, last season, the season before, I was always talking about man strength. Man strength starts around 27 years old. It peaks around 28 years old. Dane Dunning just turned 28 years old. And I know Jasper knows this guy too, because he actually used to be on the White Sox pitching a couple seasons ago.
Yeah.
28 years old, 6'4", 225. He's a big ass dude. He has some weight on him, you know. He's not like the skinny type of like Tristan McKenzie and Chris Sale types that are going to get hurt. I really feel like if Bochy would just give this guy an opportunity to stay in the rotation, he would thrive for the rest of the season. I remember Jasper saying a few years ago that he was pretty high on Dane Dunning. Rookie year was in 2020 in the shortened 2020 season, but you know, ever since then he's been a fine like streaming option, and if he stays in this rotation, I think that he should actually be kind of universally owned, closer to like that 70% mark. You know,
so he's available. He's available. Like what? How much? What percentage though? Right now,
I can look it up real quick. I don't remember, but he has a 1.69 ERA right now. And he's only had 3 starts. Springer said he drafted Dunning in his rookie season. Is that in your dynasty league that you have, Jasper? Probably. All right, so I actually have Dane Dunning in our league, and he's at 48% rostered right now. That's a 22% increase just from last week. And most likely because he got that rotation spot. You know, no one wants a mid reliever unless you have saves and holds as a category if you're in a categories league, but most of the time relievers don't really get too many points unless it's like a top closer or something like that. But a 1.69 ERA, strikeouts are a little bit down from last year. He only has 23 strikeouts and 37 innings pitched, but this guy has been limiting hard contact so well this season. Average exit velocity is at 88.6%. And anything under 90 is great. His average launch angle that he's allowed is at a 10, so he's not allowing any fly balls either. I believe he actually has 0 home runs allowed this season, and that's kind of unheard of, dude, because home runs are up in 2023. There's a lot more home runs at this time of the year than last year at this time. You know,
imagine if it was hot, it would be more home runs if it was hot.
Like day games. Games, like the ball just flies so much better. So the heat definitely brings out like the thinner air and lets the ball travel more. Expected slug from Dane Dunning is at a 398. So players are only expected to slug only 400 against this guy, which is great. You know, 400 is nothing. Like I said, the K percentage is a little bit down. It's at a 16%. I believe his career is at like a 23. But the barrel percentage that he's been allowing is only at a 5%. So a lot of soft contact. He's letting his fielders do the job, not necessarily for him, but like with him. You know, it's a team effort for sure in this type of pitcher, in a ground ball pitcher, and you know, he's inducing a lot of pop-ups as well. So that's my first pick, Dane Dunning at Pittsburgh and at Baltimore. My next pick, I have another guy that I believe he's at 69% owned, so he's right at the edge right there, and that's Drew Smyly of the Cubs. This coming week, he has versus the Mets and versus the Reds, and the Mets they look to be starting to heat up a bit. You know, they've been really bad, I want to say, for the last like month and a half. Like no one was really hitting except for Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil, but McNeil's actually like gotten a little bit cold, and actually just Brett Beatty just hit a home run, and they have that new guy also, another third baseman that just got called up, supposed to be sharing time with Brett Beatty. I forgot his name. Last name starts with an M. I don't remember. I don't remember what his name is, but he actually looks pretty good too. But I still think that Drew Smyly, with his 2.86 ERA and his 2.82 expected ERA, strikeouts are good this season. A 23% strikeout. He's allowing a lot of soft contact. The barrels are only at 5.7%, which is actually a career low for him. Launch angle is actually at a career high. So that's the thing that I am a little bit skeptical about. But playing in Chicago, whichever way the wind is blowing is gonna either help or hurt the batter and the pitcher. So I think like the fly balls might actually be okay in Chicago.
Yeah.
The ones that should be home runs are either going to go foul or blow back onto the field and be caught. So I like the matchups, and I like what I've been seeing from Drew Smiley for the whole season. He's 33 years old. I believe this is a contract year for him, so maybe he's pining for that new contract. Maybe he's trying to get
that work.
Subs another 2 or 3 years, pitch till he's 35, 36 years old. Verlander and Scherzer are doing it. Why not Drew Smiley?
No. Well, they're 38, 39, man. So this guy is exiting that man strength you talked about.
But you see, like Verlander and Scherzer are 38, 39, and they're starting to become those pitchers that you got to worry about all the time.
Of course, man. They're getting older. So it's kind of unheard of nowadays to hear a pitcher go beyond 38 or 37, because those are the pitchers that you're kind of like, okay, they're probably going to be bullpen pitchers. But you still have Scherzer and Verlander, right? And you said 33 years old. He's exiting that man strength, right?
Yeah.
You said
he's getting into the old man years. I forgot to put this up. I put Javi's up, but I forgot to put
it. Go ahead and put it up, man. Why not put it up? Yeah.
See how Dane Dunning is looking right into your eyes right there? He's like
looking into your soul, bro.
Yeah, man.
You know what? With Dane Dunning, what you just mentioned about Bruce Bochy, he's one of the top coaches, and why not have him in the starting rotation? So it's really, really cool that you brought him up and you brought Bruce Bochy up, because a lot of people forget that Bruce Bochy is with Texas, and a lot of people forget about the Rangers for some reason. I know when I see the Rangers, I don't want to see the team play. I'm one of those that I like to see the Astros, the top teams. The Rangers are in first place. It's not a bad idea to pick them up and try to give them a few starts and probably keep them in your rotation, because he is with a first place team. But like you said, there is going to be players that are coming back, and it's going to kind of, set him back and not have him be a starter. But he's a 2-start pitcher. Will's picks. And if you agree, go ahead and do it. And if he's available, go ahead and do it. Why not? Right?
One more, kind of like for my little cheat sheet. I like Mike Clevenger for next week as well. Mike Clevenger actually has some really good matchups. What's that?
Who's he facing?
He is facing at Cleveland on Tuesday. And I don't remember what the other one was, but it was a really good matchup as well. I want to say it's the Reds. Let me look.
Nice, dude. What's up, Matt? How's it going? We're getting through this.
So it's at Cleveland and at Detroit.
At Cleveland, that's not a bad matchup. Yeah,
Cleveland. Yeah, and I don't know if Jose Ramirez is going to be back by then, because I know he was on the bereavement list. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with him, but he's been out since Tuesday. So I don't think that anything was mentioned about which family member of his has passed. But who knows when Jose Ramirez is going to be back, and that's really like the biggest threat on the Guardians team. So without Jose Ramirez, that's a really good matchup.
Gotcha. All right, Matt. Y'all think I wanted this trade? I got Nasty Nestor and Matt Olson and gave up Kirby and Tejas.
Tellez. I like Matt Olson better than I like Tellez. First, I'm sorry, Matt. It's Matt Dude. Can you tell me if this is categories or points? Because that does change a little bit. Nestor Cortez, this guy thrived on taking a long time in his approach. Yeah. There were times when he would actually start his windup, and it would be a full 5 or 6 seconds before he actually threw the pitch. He would do like this little leg kick, points league. Okay, so he got nasty, or he got Nestor Cortez and Matt Olson, gave up Kirby and Tellez. I like Kirby better than I actually like Nestor Cortez. Yeah. In a points league, I feel like Kirby is not necessarily the best in that trade, but he's probably going to be the most consistent source of points, just because Matt Olson and Rowdy Tellez are both like very streaky hitters. I think it's actually a wash. I think giving up Kirby giving up Kirby and getting Matt Olson is a pretty decent trade, and switching Nestor and Tellez is a pretty even trade as well. So if you needed a better first baseman, I think that you got the better deal. But I still think that George Kirby is definitely the better pitcher.
No.
Yeah, Cortez has a 5.2321, I think, ERA.
Yeah, he's just not used to working that fast, as we've seen in the past couple seasons. And the Yankees just aren't doing Yankee things right now anyway. Maybe,
that seems weird right now.
Because it's an East Coast team like we were just talking about, maybe as the weather starts getting warmer, he'll start to do a little bit better. I feel like the whole league in general, pitching has just been kind of like up and down. I'm loaded on pitching and needed a better first baseman. Then, I agree. I probably would have done that trade as well.
Yeah. Why not? If you needed to we just made a trade ourselves. You want to go ahead and say what trade it is? Get everybody pissed off.
I'm actually very excited, even though, let's see.
I'm excited. That's why it happened.
So this is probably the reason why you're so excited about it, right?
Yeah.
That tricky wrist from Machado. It's his front wrist, so I know it's going to be a little bit hard for him to have a power swing. He might go on the IL soon. It's kind of up in the air, but I traded away Jose Altuve and I got Manny Machado in return. Who knows how? Don't show that. Oh, are you a Padres fan? It's Matt, dude. Or should I just call you Matt? Oh, he has him. Oh. Yeah,
we've called him Matt before, and he's cool with it. I hope so, right, Matt? Yeah, look, we made a trade. I'll go ahead and say it. Altuve for Machado. I got Altuve. I don't need a third baseman because I got Chapman, so that was fine. I needed a second baseman, and Will needed a third baseman. So I said, "All right, let's do it." I think Altuve's coming out of the IL soon, or
today. Today's actually
today,
his
right?
First start.
Today.
Yeah.
And then
he's batting leadoff.
There we go. And then Machado should be back soon. I don't think it's going to be more than 3 weeks from what I heard, but he hasn't gone into the IL yet. And that's one of those things where it's like, all right, put him in the IL because we can make some room and pick up some more players, but they don't care about fantasy. That's what sucks, man. Someone needs to call him and be like, hey, put him on the IL already, dude. Like, what the hell? I need another player to replace this dude because I need some points. I need to win. But they don't care about us.
I feel like they got to work on that, man. Fuck.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to have to find a phone and like, hey, dude, you know what the hell? Like, put him on IL now. Like today, please.
Yeah, so it looks like they actually did. I just checked on Yahoo and they actually moved them onto the IL, which I figured was going to happen. I actually saw an interview with Machado from a Padres beat writer, a Padres kind of like what Alana Rizzo used to be for the Dodgers. And I forgot the new girl's name.
Kristen something.
Kristen Watson?
Yeah.
Does that
Watson,
sound right?
There you go. Yeah, that sounds right.
So he was kind of being a dick. And it was like crazy to see that because usually like players, they don't talk to these journalists that are like, the top name for each team. Like she is the Padres journalist, and he was like kind of laying into her, like, how would you feel? Like, I've never broken a bone either, like kind of like just being very short. But then when a guy started asking him questions, a different journalist, all of a sudden his tune changed. So I don't know if he has a thing against women or what, but I mean, we've seen Machado be a dick in the past before. Maybe he's become a little bit different, like during the games, but he's still an asshole in my book.
Dude, he's part owner of. I don't know if you guys heard. I know it's not baseball related, but he's part owner of bringing a new soccer team to San Diego. So maybe he's just focused on that right now. A lot of people are mad because of that. They're like, "What the hell? Focus on hitting. You're not hitting all that great. You're over there buying a team, and you're not focused on hitting." I'm like, first of all, he's in the IL, so how is he going to go to the batting cage and swing that bat? We need to get him ready.
Actually,
I don't have him anymore.
Was it Wednesday?
Wait, when does this trade gets approved and gets moving, man? Come on.
I think Sunday.
Okay, so I'll have him next week.
Yeah,
or I'll have him Sunday, pretty much. Okay, cool. Javi, you better not say anything or a veto or anything, man. Let it go through. It's a win-win for both of us, I think.
No, it's not a bad trade.
Yeah, it's a win-win. It's two top caliber players. Both of them have fan injuries, and we're just switching teams. We're taking a risk on that. I mean, but I think it's for Will, because I think you need a third baseman, which is perfect.
Well,
and then I needed a second baseman.
I gave you my third second baseman. I have Mookie Betts, who's eligible at second base, and I also have Max Muncy, who's eligible at second base. So that would have been my third. And I've been trying to make a trade like for a while now, but no one was really budging. You know,
you had the itch. You were like, "Oh, I need to make a trade."
I was like Tony. I was like, come on, I need it. I need my fix.
All right, guys, let's move on, man. Let's go ahead and go into the streamers. Who do we have as streamers for our viewers that are out there right now?
So there is actually a huge list of streaming options that we have for Saturday. So usually what Javi and I will do is I'll just name all the streamers that we have going on Saturday, and then he'll just tell me yes or no if he would start them or not.
Okay.
So you want to do that, Javi?
Let's go.
You want me to put the clock?
Yeah.
I'll put the clock. Go ahead.
Tomorrow, we have John Gray versus the Rockies.
Yes.
Hunter Brown versus the A's.
Yes, against the A's.
You took too long.
Yeah.
Zach Eflin versus the Brewers.
Eflin's been pitching pretty good, man. I like that.
He has been pitching pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Patrick Sandoval versus the Twins.
Loser. Yeah, that's a tough. Is that a home game or an away game?
It's versus the Twins, so it's at home.
Yeah, I'll take Sandoval.
Sandoval's been kind of like up and down this season. I don't think that I would take that bet. If he was already on my team, I would go ahead and start him. Especially in a points league. But if he's just on the waiver wire, I'd probably pass on him and go for someone else. Grayson Rodriguez at the Blue Jays.
Grayson's been booty,
and the Blue Jays are pretty good.
Loser.
All right, cool.
Jack Flaherty versus the Dodgers.
No.
Loser. Kyle
he had a good. His last game was really good, though, man. Like that's why
he's another one. Like he's actually been starting to show like a little bit better signs of life.
Yeah.
But
risk.
Grayson Rodriguez at Blue Jays.
Who?
Grayson Rodriguez at the Blue Jays.
Oh, you said that already.
Oh, did I? My bad. Kyle Freeland at the Rangers.
No.
Loser. Tanner Bybee at the Mets.
Yeah. I like Bybee. Yeah.
Jamison Tyone at the Phillies.
No.
Loser. Noah Syndergaard at the Cardinals.
No.
Loser. Louis Varland at the Angels.
He's a good little. He's a nice little prospect. I like him.
Yeah, I like him too. I'd like him better if he wasn't facing Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. But the rest of the team, the rest of the Angels, they're nothing like special. Taylor Ward will have his moments, and certain guys on the team will have their moments. But for the most part, like those are really the only two on the team that I'd be worried about. Roansy Contreras versus the Diamondbacks.
Word. I like me some Roansy.
Yeah, you do. Brandon Pfaadt at the Pirates.
That's what she said.
Oh, this is another one of those prospects that everybody was high on, and he hasn't really started off too great. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt just because I know the Pirates have kind of come back down to earth a little bit. So I'm gonna say yeah.
I'm gonna say the same thing I said earlier. Like if he's already on my team, I'll go ahead and start him, but I'm not looking to pick him up and waste one of my transactions.
Gotcha.
David Peterson versus the Guardians.
Loser.
Nah,
Yeah,
pass.
Peterson's been garbage this year.
Yeah,
So
pass.
I don't want
Pass.
any part of that.
Heavy
Patrick
pass.
Corbin versus the Tigers.
Corbin's been putting it together, man. I like that. I like that matchup.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I don't trust him. I'll never put trust in Patrick Corbin again. Braxton Garrett at the Giants.
Yo, he's been pretty consistent. I like Braxton Garrett a lot. I think he honestly he should be owned a little bit higher than he is right now, honestly.
And the Giants, they haven't really shown much life either. You know, they're like just like the Angels. They have a couple guys that have been on fire. The new guy, Casey Schmidt, he's actually been pretty good. He had a couple home runs in his first games, but he hasn't really had much power since then. 2 home runs, but I think he's batting like 340 or something like that for the season in the past like 22 games. So he's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
So actually that takes me to my next point. If you need a third base replacement, Casey Schmidt, he's widely available out there, especially in categories leagues because he does have some pop in his bat. Jordan Lyles at the White Sox.
Damn. I'll say no.
Loser.
That's a tough
and
one.
Alex Faedo at the Nationals, our last streamer for Saturday.
Nah.
Loser.
All right. So this is a big one. This guy hasn't been under 70% owned for years. Lance Lynn versus the Royals.
How many?
Damn.
He's at like 60-something% right now. Roster.
What?
Yeah, he hasn't been under 70% since like basically he was a rookie.
That's insane. I'm gonna say yeah. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let the big boy pitch, man.
He had a good start this past start. I don't remember who it was, but it was actually very surprising. Of course,
he's so inconsistent, man, and
he's really inconsistent.
It just sucks that the offense can't get it together, man.
Yeah,
you know, we talk about the White Sox a lot. You know, how they're stacked and they have a bunch of young players and whatnot, but it just can't seem to put it together, and it sucks. You know.
Hey, that actually brings me to my next Manny Machado replacement, Jake Berger from the White Sox. That dude has been eating some big ass burgers to be able to hit the ball he's been hitting. I got some stats that I'll bring up later, but Jake Berger, man, I picked him up in my other league that I'm in. Andrew Heaney versus the Rockies.
Where is he pitching?
Where?
Versus the Rockies, so it's at Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Word.
Domingo Germán at the Reds. Actually, no, he's been suspended.
So he's already suspended. Is he suspended?
Yeah, he
actually,
did.
I don't know when that goes into effect.
It should go the day after.
I know it's on
he's
the
probably
on the
suspended
app already.
So most likely he's not going to make that start then, because I believe they said a 10-game suspension.
Yeah.
So he's going to miss 2 starts.
And Burgers. Ooh. This one's for you.
Berger is going to crush. I completely agree. I'll go back to that later. Where am I at? Oh, Josiah Gray versus the Tigers.
Yeah.
I love Josiah Gray. I wish he was available in any of the leagues that I play in because, dude, this guy has just came out of nowhere and he's been pitching like a solid like number 2 or 3 after a couple years of pitching more like a number 5. So I love him as like one of my like mid-tier pitching talents. I wish I would have kind of jumped on the ball. I was offered Josiah Gray in a trade earlier in the season for Hunter Brown, and Josiah Gray is actually doing a lot better than Hunter Brown is this season. It is the keeper league. I was planning on keeping Hunter Brown. I'm not so sure about that anymore. I probably should have went for it, but oh well. Michael Wacha took a no-hitter into the 9th inning on his last outing. So Michael Wacha versus the Red Sox in St. Louis.
Yeah.
What? Versus the Red Sox. In where?
Yes.
This Sunday, Michael Wacha versus the Red Sox.
Versus the Red Sox? He did just face the Kansas City Royals, so I don't know.
Is that the no hitter that he almost
Yeah,
had?
that was a no hitter. The Royals don't have anything, so that's kind of was like it's cold weather too, going to Boston.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no, but Javi, you said yes?
Say no also.
I'm gonna say yes.
I don't like Waka. Waka had pedigree when he first came up, but he hasn't really turned out to be anything more than just a decent streaming option once in a while. And against the Red Sox, Red Sox are actually like hitting pretty well right now. They're playing small ball, like we talked about on your show, Carlos, a couple weeks ago. That they've been getting base hits, and then Alex Verdugo been driving everybody in, and hit by pitches. Justin Turner, the king of hit by pitches. The whole Red Sox lineup has just been like moving.
Dodgers, man.
The whole Red Sox lineup has just been like moving guys over, and it's
crazy.
It's great to see ex-Dodgers doing that. After they leave, it would be nice to see that better on the Dodgers staff, but that's baseball. Corey Kluber at the Padres.
About the Boston Dodgers, right?
The Boston Dodgers, exactly.
Yeah. Who was that?
Corey Kluber at the Padres.
Hell no.
That is a resounding hell no.
Hell no.
This is your boy, but I don't think you're going to go for this one because it's at the Blue Jays. Dean Kramer.
No.
Loser.
Brad Keller at the White Sox.
Who?
Brad Keller. The Royals.
No.
Loser.
Alex Wood versus the Marlins.
Oh,
not that funky windup. I'm gonna say no.
Loser.
Yanni Chirinos versus the Brewers. Now, Yanni Chirinos, I don't think he's going to go very deep into the game. I think they're using him more as an opener. So I don't think that any of us are really going to recommend Yanni Chirinos at this point.
No, he's only pitched like 2 innings.
Exactly.
He's an opener. He's not something that you want
to see. I think they're trying to limit him. They try to limit him to like 30 pitches. So that's a no-go for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey Falter versus the Cubs.
That's the guy from the Phillies, right?
Yeah, the prospect.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no.
Loser.
Joey Wentz at the Nationals.
Was that Tampa Bay?
That is Detroit.
Oh yeah, that's right. Against the Nationals, I don't really know much about Wentz. Yeah,
that's a toss-up.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I would say no too, just because I don't really know much about Joey Wentz. So if I don't know about him, I'm pretty sure he's probably not.
Unless you're really desperate. Unless you're really, really desperate that you're losing by
if you're losing by a lot and that's what's available, and it's your the last chance to actually get some points. If it's a points league,
take the gamble.
Sure. If it's a categories league and you have to worry about WHIP and ERA, cancel that.
Yeah.
Connor Siebold at the Rangers. Now this is another one that I think might be just an opener because Connor Siebold was actually the closer, I believe, for the Mariners. So he's probably only going to pitch 2 innings to open.
Yeah, that's a no.
So
any kind of bullpen game for me is a no.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Drew Rucinski at the Astros.
No.
Loser.
Yeah, especially with Altuve back in the lineup, right, Carlos?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
All right, that was the last one for Sunday. So that is our streaming options for this weekend.
Nice. Well, what's next, man? News and notes? Prospect Callups?
Let's go with the news and notes. So there was 2 things that were kind of like big. I believe you talked about it, Carlos, on your show on Monday. Was Kenley Jansen. So I do have a video here. Kenley Jansen. So there is no audio on this, so we'll be able to talk during this video to kind of like show what's going on. So as you can see here, that's Wilson Contreras in the box right there. He's not even ready to he's not ready for the at bat. And Kenley Jansen, I didn't even know this was a rule with the pitch clock. Kenley Jansen can actually not get set until the batter is in the box. So the batter has until the 8-second mark to get into the box. And Kenley Jansen was getting set before Wilson Contreras was actually getting in the box to be ready. So there were 3 pitch clock violations on Kenley Jansen called in that at bat, and Wilson Contreras actually walked on that last pitch clock violation. And then Wilson Contreras actually came around to score because Kenley Jansen did Kenley Jansen things, and he gave up a few base hits, and the Red Sox actually lost that game. That was his second blown save 2 days in a row.
That's true.
What to do
after
about
he got the 400?
It sucks. I know Boston. Yeah, exactly. After his 400th save, career milestone, and for MLB in general, that was that was a milestone watch, and he got to it. Congratulations to Kenley Jansen, but he's just not the dominant closer that he once was, and Boston, I feel like they're not really bringing out the best in him. Maybe they thought that he was going to, but they also brought a lot of old guys onto the team. So I think they were just trying to fill their lineup and save some money for. I'm assuming that they have some ideas for the future.
Yeah. Well, before you say Kenley Jansen, he blew 2 saves. I get it, and he's blown a lot more in the season, and he was throwing a lot slower. So now he's throwing that slider, or I mean a cutter. It's a cutter. He's throwing it a lot faster now. So like he doesn't have control of it. He's throwing 97 as opposed to 93 these past 5 seasons. Mm-hmm. So
but wild.
He is wild, and that's where the season is going to determine how good he's going to be like in the future. So as he goes on with the Red Sox, it's cold weather out there. These 2 blown saves happen in Boston. The other saves that he's gotten, it's been hot weather. Like I don't know if you've seen him pitch in I forget where it was. It was in the Dome, and he was lights out.
Yeah.
So this cold weather
is isn't he from like Aruba or something like that? So he's used to warm weather. Oh,
he's
that's right. So he's used to the warmer weather, like kind of all year round, not like pitching in really cold Boston weather, because Boston's actually north from us, and if we're 30 degrees in the morning, they're definitely colder than we are over here in Philly.
Yeah.
So I for anyone that has Kenley Jansen on their roster, definitely don't drop him, because he is probably one of like maybe 7 or 8 closers that are actual closers that are going to close out the 9th every time there's a save opportunity.
Yeah.
So he is a hot commodity. Just,
would you trade him?
Would I trade him? I would definitely trade him away if someone offered me something decent for him.
Javi, would you trade him?
Yeah, I would.
You would? If you guys had him, you guys would trade him.
I would. I just don't trust him as much as I did a couple years back.
Is there any closer that you trust right now, though?
Damn, that's a good question.
So that's what I'm saying. Like these two
I mean, I get it.
Happen in Boston, and it's cold right now. So shouldn't you want to wait a little bit, because the warm weather is coming? June is coming. And like we said in the beginning of the show, I don't know when I logged in, it was the beginning of the show, I guess, for me, not for you guys. But like we said that this is the longest stretch of cold weather we've had in years. And he does pitch in Boston. So it's one of those things where, do you hold him a little bit? Do you wait till June, see if he blows another save, and then like, you know what, let's trade him?
I don't know. I'm kind of low on Jansen. And I have been for a really long time. I honestly think that the only closer that I would be comfortable with having, and no matter what, I'm starting him every single time, is Emmanuel Clase from the Guardians. Other than that, it's like every other team either uses committee or they have like the firemen now. So like on teams, like the Dodgers. Right.
Yeah, that's
I was
going to say. Yeah.
We have Evan Phillips, and he's probably the best reliever on our team. But sometimes Evan Phillips will pitch the 8th because there's the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, and then Bruce Dog Gratterall will close it out. So it's kind of up in the air depending on the manager.
Situation.
The fireman role is actually a lot more important now than the closer role.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
That is. What other news do we have, man?
So we kind of already showed the video of Machado. I'll go ahead and show it again so everyone can see.
Sorry, I jumped the gun on that one.
That's all right. It was a breaking pitch. I'm surprised he actually broke his wrist from that. Why he's not wearing protection on his hand, I don't get it. It's like all these professional MO. I don't get it. What happened
when he got hit when he got hit, he probably went like, "Ay."
Oh, Fernando, hold me.
Exactly, man. It just had to come out. My bad. All right, keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a breaking pitch, and I know breaking pitches are 80 miles an hour or something like that. But I feel like he should have had enough time to react to be able to get out of the way. It wasn't 97,
No, it wasn't.
and I don't know. Maybe, like he said, he's just distracted with all the other things.
He wanted to get hit so he could work on that expansion team.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I was saying earlier, if you did lose Machado, star third baseman, there are a couple options that I kind of did my little research on, and Jake Burger was one of them, and Casey Schmidt is the other. Jake Burger. So there's one stat that I would like to give on him. I don't know about his playing time. That's been the biggest thing with Jake Burger in the past 3 seasons, being with the White Sox, is the White Sox put so much faith into Moncada, Yoan Moncada. They play him every single day when he's healthy, and it's like when you got a guy like Jake Burger. So Jake Burger has 83 at bats this season, with 10 home runs. So looking at the list of other players that have 10 home runs, there's only one other player that kind of comes close to the amount of at-bats that Jake Burger has had, and that's Joey Gallo. So Joey Gallo has had
Joey Gallo, man. He's one of the players that was talking a lot of junk about the Yankees. And he's doing pretty good out there in Minnesota. So
Joey Gallo has had 102 at bats, which is almost 20 more at bats than Jake Burger. They have the same home runs, but Jake Burger has a 277 batting average, whereas Joey Gallo has a 216 batting average. So
yeah,
he's
those above the Mendoza line.
What's that?
He's above the Mendoza line. So
yeah, barely.
Yeah,
and that's actually a good season from Joey Gallo too, because usually he's like hovering around like 180, 190 on a good day.
Yeah.
But those 10 home runs. So there's like 12 or 13 guys with 10 home runs in the league right now. I'm gonna go over them really quick. So he's in good company. Mike Trout, Joey Gallo, Hunter Renfroe, Yandy Diaz, Sean Murphy, Kyle Schwarber, Ozzy Albies, Rowdy Tellez, Randy Arozarena, Shohei Ohtani, Jake Burger, and Josh Lowe. So those are all the players that have 10 home runs, and every single player over there is above 100 at bats, when Jake Burger only has 82 at bats or 83 at bats. So home runs per game, Jake Burger is just like in crazy. Like, this guy has so much power. I don't understand why the White Sox don't play him more often. It's like, I know they have a lot of guys that get hurt often, Eloy Jimenez and Luis Robert and Yoan Moncada, but it's like,
hey, you said it right.
Yeah,
you said it right. It's not Robert, it's Robert. Yep. Yeah. Oh Robert. Man, that's dope. No, because a lot of people say Robert, and it's not Robert. It's Luis
Robert.
Yeah, it's spelled that way, but it's Robert. Like,
yeah.
Oh man,
like that's like French or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
sorry, I got excited. Sorry.
That's why I got this, man. I am silently correcting your grammar. I pride myself in good grammar, man. Even when it comes to names, like I try to get their names right all the time.
Yeah.
Like Dean Kramer is the one that we were talking about last week. Is it Kramer? Is it Creamer?
Creamer, yeah.
I don't know.
The creamer I put on my coffee, that's what it is.
Exactly. When I don't know how to pronounce a name, I watch that team's broadcast to see how they pronounce it, because most of the time the broadcasters, they try really hard to pronounce the player's name right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jake Berger, dude, like this guy just all he does is hit home runs. He strikes out a lot. He's at a 30% strikeout rate, but when you're hitting that many home runs, I'm okay with that. Points league, he's good right now because he's batting, close to 280. And that's great with all those home runs. He's actually among the leaders in third base when it comes to points per game. He's at 4.1 points per game compared to a lot of other guys that are struggling out there, like an Austin Riley, who only has like 2.8 points per game. So it's a pretty big difference. Eventually, because Austin Riley is playing on the East Coast, it might be hurting him a little bit, the colder weather, but he'll probably balance out closer to the mid-season. But yeah, Jake Berger, dude, if he is available in your league and you need a solid third baseman and you're kind of debating on who to pick up, I would definitely go for Jake Berger over anyone else. If Jake Berger's already taken, Casey Schmidt, another guy that we were talking about earlier on the Giants, he's actually another good option. Doesn't have the pop that Jake Berger does, but he does have some solid playing time. And
dude, if you're playing a drinking game and you catch Will saying Jake Berger, you'll get drunk. I think he said it like you're in love with the guy.
I love burgers, man. They're my favorite food, and now they're my favorite
that out there. Jake Berger. I think that's what's going to stay in my head when I go to sleep. Jake Berger. Jake Berger.
You're like, I'm hungry. Fuck.
I am hungry.
Hey, that's a good one though. That's a really good one.
I miss, man? I miss those little hamburger shops in LA, dude. We don't have that over here. It's like there's an Italian restaurant right there, and there's another Italian restaurant right there, and there's another Italian restaurant right there, and they all have burgers, but it's not the same.
But it's not Jake Berger.
They're not Jake Berger. That's for sure. I miss Lewis Burgers in Compton on Long Beach Boulevard. Oh, I miss that so much, dude. With the little yellow peppers too. Forget In-N-Out. It's all about Lewis Burgers,
man. You'll hit them. You'll get some. We'll get some whenever you come down.
I'm coming actually next month.
Nice.
The whole family's coming. Yeah.
Nice. All right. We'll go down and get some burgers. We'll probably do a live show.
I'll talk to you about it after the show.
Sure. Sounds good. So where are we at, man? Are we gonna keep going with the news?
I think that's all the news that I have. Other than Altuve that we already mentioned, he's back, so make sure you get him in your lineups. And there is two more things that we have on the lineup for the show. We definitely have to talk about Alek Manoah. I think that there's a lot of people out there.
Not no more.
Not no more.
Wait. No,
he traded him for Tommy Edman, and then Tommy Edman ended up having a collision in the outfield, and he's out too. Hey, but that's okay. That's it's not any more negative pitching points on your bench, right?
Yeah.
Should we give him a double loser for that one or no?
Bro, I honestly I had hopes for this guy.
Everyone did, dude. He was like a Cy Young caliber pitcher last season.
Loser. I forgot. Double. I think I got him. I think somebody dropped him on the waivers. Right?
Yeah,
somebody dropped him on
Jasper,
the waivers.
Actually,
yeah, and then I picked him up, and I was like, I had him last season, so I had real high hopes for this guy, and then he was just getting hit left and right, dude. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this guy, man? Like, dude. So I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? And dude, he just kept shitting on my team. So I was like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, you gotta fix your mechanics, or I don't know what, but it's I had to let him go, bro.
I have his phone number. We can call him later, and we can let him know, hey, what's up, dude? Like, you're over there talking crap to all these players after you strike them out. You can't do it anymore. What's up with that? Here. And I know why. I know that's why you like him, Javi, because he used to talk a lot of crap. Like You know,
No,
if you
I
talk
mean,
crap,
to me, honestly, to me, he was a young pitcher, solid pitcher on a
yeah,
good offensive team. I'm
yeah.
like, all right, this dude he's gonna be the guy, right? And he's not the guy, man. And it sucks, bro. Like I needed I was debating on trading one of my pitchers because I was in desperate need of a I think it was like a middle infielder.
Yeah.
And because Jazz Chisholm, he hit the fucking IL.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I needed somebody. And then Tony, I mean, he's been trying to trade everybody on his team. So I was like, all right, bro, Manoah, Edmund, let's do it. And he was just like, fuck it. And I mean, I had Edmund too last season, and he was pretty solid, man. So
Yeah.
I hope the injury doesn't linger throughout the season for him, and I hope he can,
I actually watched the collision live. I was watching
mhm,
the Cardinals game when it happened,
Uh-huh.
and right after it, he made the catch, or was it him that made the catch, or was it Newbar? I think it was Newbar that actually made the catch. But they both got up and they were laughing about it. They were fine. So I think it's more
mhm.
precautionary. I don't think he'll be out for more than a couple days, just to
Yeah,
kind of like
Yeah,
get rid of like some soreness and get
and
him
I
moving.
know he can give me a little bit of everything. He can hit home runs,
that's what she said.
not a plenty, but he can steal bases, and he can hit for average. So I'm not too mad about the trade. I'm
No,
gonna
it's
be
not a bad
pissed
trade.
if Manoah turns it around all of a sudden. It's like, but I don't
Hey,
know,
get ready
man.
for Tony to talk crap if he does turn it around. He's gonna tell you, look what
Yeah,
I got,
right.
and you let him go. You let him go. Hey,
I
it's part of it.
Yeah,
It's part of it.
right.
It's part of it. It's part of it.
I was looking at his underlying numbers, earlier today and yesterday, and just trying to like figure out like what's wrong with him. His sinker, slider, fastball, and changeup, they're basically all the same as last year. They actually have more spin on it this year than they did last year. The velocity is all the same though. 93 on his cutter or on his sinker, 81 on his slider, 93 on his four seam, and 86 on his changeup. But
Hmm.
dude, he's just not getting the whiffs that he did last season.
Um,
On his slider last season, he was at a 32% whiff rate. This season, he's only at a 25, and he's getting hit hard this season, dude.
yeah,
His
they
slider is
figured him
actually
out,
getting
man.
hit. There's a batting average against on his slider at 368. He's already given up
Damn,
4 home runs on the slider. When
that's
last
crazy.
season he gave up 4 home runs total throughout the season on his slider.
That's crazy.
That's
He is
yeah,
facing the East, though. Remember that he's facing the AL East, which is stacked, which is less games than what it is
But they were
the
stacked
years
last year
prior.
too.
yeah,
Not like they are now. The Orioles are top. The Tampa Bay Rays are top. They're playing good baseball. Like all those teams out in the AL East. Look, the Yankees are in fourth place, and they have better record than the Twins, and the Twins are in first place in the
Yeah.
Central. Like that type of things that you need to look at. So that kind of demoralizes the pitcher. So he needs to work on that psyche and try to say, hey, you know what? I can pitch. I belong in the major leagues. I can do it. But is he gonna get it? Is he gonna put it together? Javi just was like, you know what? I need to give up. I need to get a middle infielder, and I don't think that's a bad trade, Javi. To be honest, that's a good
yeah,
trade. So
Uh,
like, it's just those things that like as a fantasy owner you got to kind of look at. And like for me, I would have probably traded just kind of like what I did with Manny Machado. I felt like he hadn't been producing all year. I needed a middle infielder, and Will was like, "Hey, I'll trade you all too," and I'm like, jumped on it. I know he's
yeah.
probably struggled. He did struggle in the minor leagues, but you
he
never
only
know.
had
He's
3
with the
rehab
Astros.
games. He had
He's with
2
the
hits
Astros,
and
though.
3
He's with the
rehab
Astros.
games. Yeah.
He's with the
You remember
Astros.
when
That's
he
a big. That's big.
struggled, like, a couple seasons ago when they found out about, like, the cheating scandal?
Yeah, it was
He
on
was
his head.
mentally,
Yeah,
he was torn up, and that's
yeah,
really what made him not do so well. But I
yeah,
think after he kinda just gets the swing of things and knocks that rust off, we're gonna see the old same Altuve that we used to.
yeah, for sure.
But going back
And
to Alek Manoah,
yeah,
his K percentage is down so much. Last season he was at a 23%. The season before he was at a 28%. This season he's only at 16. So he's not
mm,
getting the strikeouts that he was, and I'm pretty sure it's because of that slider. He used to get a lot of strikeouts on that slider, and this year it's just getting hit, and it's
They
getting hit
figured him
hard.
out, man.
He's
They
also at a
figured him out
15% walk rate. Last season he was only at 6, so he's walking
mm,
a
a
lot of
lot.
batters this season,
Yeah,
dude, a
yeah,
lot.
yeah,
And every walk he issues, that's a -1 added onto his score.
Yep. Yeah, I just couldn't take the risk on that, man. So I just pulled the trigger.
What did you say? You said bye. See ya. Oh my god.
But
All right.
yeah, man.
Who's next? Who's next?
So there's only one more segment that I want to do because I know Javi has to go. He has to go to work pretty soon. So there's 3 pitching prospects that just got recalled. There's Taj Bradley from the Rays, Yuri Perez from the Marlins, and Matthew Liberatore from the Cardinals. So those 3, I actually asked Javi earlier in the day. Those 3 pitching prospects, I want you to rank them from highest to lowest.
I'd do Taj, Perez, and then Liberatore.
Dang.
And the reason why I did it like that is because we saw Taj earlier in the season, and we kind of saw what he can do. And we were all pretty bummed out when they sent them back to the minors. So I feel like he got a little bit of taste of the MLB and the speed of the game and everything. So I think he should be at the top of that list. And then Perez, younger guy,
very young. He's actually the youngest rookie to pitch in the majors since Julio Urias.
Is that 19
years old?
Yeah. So, and he, I don't think he got the dub on that first game he had. He had like 7 strikeouts, I believe, but he pitched pretty good, man. He looked very composed. I like him just because he looks like he's got that strikeout like thing going for him. And I guess the reason why I put him second is because I think Liberatore, they brought him up last season, right?
And he was terrible.
Yeah, and
September call-up.
Yeah, so I gotta see a little bit more of him before I can kind of determine, but that's why I put it the way I did. But I believe Bradley over both of these guys, easy. Yeah, I know you're happy about that.
Same way, and that's actually the reason why I'm wearing that Tampa Bay hat today is because I have Taj Bradley as number 1 out of these 3 names also, and it's all the reasons you mentioned. Plus, I know that when he got sent down, even you said, Javi, is that it's probably going to mess with his mind. He's going to lack confidence. But, dude, he came back in his first start after he got recalled, and he pitched really well. He only went 5 innings, but as a rookie, that's fine. I'll take those 5 innings. I'll take those 15 points or 18 points or, whatever it is. I don't think he got the win this past outing, but he's allowed 3 runs or fewer in every one of his major league starts. In the minors, he was really bad. He has a 11.25 ERA in the minors. One thing that I actually did hear, I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I heard that when Taj Bradley actually got sent down, they told him, don't go out there and try to, just pitch to win. We want you to work on some things. So work on these things in the minors, and if you get hit hard, you get hit hard. But we want you to work on these things so that way when we bring you back up, you're already prepared. So I'm thinking
that's probably why you see that inflated ERA in the minors.
Yeah,
right?
16 innings with the 11.25 ERA. Strikeouts were down, walks were way up, and that was a big thing for me, dude, because he only had 1 walk versus Boston, 1 walk at Cincinnati, and no walks against the Astros. So in the minors, he gave up 9 walks in 16 innings. And I really think it's because of that he was trying to work on some things in the minors, and the minors have their playoffs also, but it's not important to anyone except for the players,
Right.
And if Taj Bradley needed to work on a few things and maybe get stretched out a little bit more so that way he can get used to this 5-day schedule, instead of the 6-day schedule like he was before at 22 years old, maybe they're going to do it a couple times to him also to limit his innings because he's so young.
And then he's in an exciting team like the Rays. Like that can kind of boost your energy too.
And the Rays, we talk about this all the time. They're so good at developing their pitching. and maybe this is one of the things that they do to develop their pitching. They tell him to work on a few things in the minors, and maybe he gets clicked hard. Looks like we got some spam in the Facebook comment from Kaleng Joss.
So, I'm not even going to post it.
I'm not clicking that. No, thank you. Anyway, but I really like Taj Bradley. I got him number 1, and just like you, Javi, I have Yuri Perez at number 2. The biggest thing with Yuri Perez that I saw is last season. I know he was only 19 in the minors last season, but he had a 4.08 ERA. Strikeouts are super high. He had 106 strikeouts in 17 starts, but he also had 25 walks to go with that. 25 walks. That 25 walks in 75 innings. It's actually not too bad, but it's still it's a little bit too much than I want to see. His fastball, he has no control of his fastball. Every other pitch that he has actually looks really good. His fastball is the one thing that he just can't control, and that's actually the one thing that you need to be able to control as a starting pitcher is you need to have that fastball command, so that way when you do throw your breaking stuff, it catches the batter off guard, So I like the ceiling that Yuri Perez has. I don't like the floor because I feel like everything could fall apart very easily because of the walks and just that lack of command with his fastball. And
he's really young too, though. You got to understand he's really young, and he's
he's
the first MLB player from that's born in 2003. Just by the way, just want to put it out there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Think about that. I think they made a big deal about it that he was the first 2003 born baseball player playing in the major leagues.
Man, that makes me feel old as hell.
Yeah. So tell me about it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, that was it basically for Yuri Perez. Oh, actually, one more thing that he has going for him that these other two guys don't. He's 6'8". He is a big ass dude. He's a giant. Taj Bradley's not small, and Matthew Liberatore is not small at all. Taj Bradley's 6'2", Matthew Liberatore is 6'4". But when you got a guy standing 6'8" on the mound, that's like Randy Johnson.
Stuff.
Yep. And when you got that arm coming up from so high, and the fastball, that's the thing about his fastball. I don't understand why he's so wild like that. Maybe it's arm slot, or I don't know what it is.
He can't find the real
figure it out.
That's the thing he needs to work on.
Yeah.
And hopefully, the Marlins coaching staff that can actually help him through this. He doesn't throw the ball exceptionally hard. He throws it like 95 or 96, which is still really hard. But in today's game, that's not that hard. Everyone throws 95.
Yeah.
Aroldis Chapman is throwing 104.
Yeah, and he's effectively wild. When you think it's going to be in the strike zone, it actually turns out to be 2 feet above, and you swing and miss at it because it's coming at 104 miles an hour.
Yep.
And then the last one, Matthew Liberatore, 23 years old, so he's still really young. He had a taste of the majors last year. It didn't do very well. I do see some good things with him this season. The four-seamer seems to be the only problem with him. The curveball, the expected batting average is only at a .047. The sinker, the expected batting average is at a .066. The expected batting average on the four-seam is 282. So that seems to be the only one that's actually getting hit pretty, not really hard. Actually, his expected slug is 657 on his fastball. So actually, it is getting hit very, very hard. He's lucky to not give up so many runs. He actually didn't give up any runs in his only start so far. But we'll see, man, because he is giving up a lot of hard contact. Not so much in the air, though. The launch angle is only at a 4.4 degree. So a lot of line drives, a lot of hard hit line drives that are hopefully just going to go right towards the infielders, right into their glove, help them out a little bit. And with the infield that the Cardinals have, that could very well happen.
Yep. Dude, we reached, I think we went over the hour mark. I don't.
Well, Javi and I got on a little bit earlier.
Okay.
So about an hour for you.
Yeah, about an hour for me. I got in. I had internet problems, which I hate. I don't know. I kind of felt like a little lost because I was in the show when it first started. It kind of sucks. My internet's kind of sucking right now. Don't get Spectrum. But if you're gonna sponsor
Hey,
us,
this
go ahead and get Spectrum.
show, like I've noticed you were choppy in like past episodes, but now you like you look super clear. Both of you guys actually look super clear.
Okay. Super clear. All right. Was that the last mentions or what?
Yep, that was it.
All right, cool. I know Javi has to go to work, so we'll end it right here. I'm Callups Baseball. This is Willpower and Xavi the Commish. Real Talk Baseball. Signing out.
See you guys
later.